So today I want to talk about some of the best laptop accessories you can buy for your laptop, whether it be you carry it all the time or just keep it at home and have handy whenever you need it. I haven't done one of these videos in a long time, and I want to bring back some of these buying guides because I feel like they're very useful right now. But before I do, I just want to give you a quick update on the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i. Now this portion of the video is sponsored by Best Buy, but I've been using this guy for the past few weeks on and off, and I have to say, out of all the laptops I've used, I really feel like this sort of dual screen form factor is truly the future of laptops. Just having two displays on you at all times is a big deal. And there's been so many different use cases that I've personally used this laptop for that it would feel a bit too constrained on a traditional laptop. Like for example, I was using Microsoft 365 in Windows 11 to be more productive. And what I did was I had my Excel sheet on the top, and then on the bottom screen, I was using my graph program where I create graphs for my laptop videos. If I was to do this on a regular laptop, I would have to have them side by side. Now on a 13-inch display, like a single 13-inch display, that's way too small. Like I'd be going nuts. I'd rather just keep it full size and then tab back and forth. But on this guy, so much easier to be productive with because you have two displays to utilize. So even though I'm only using two displays, if you're someone, let's say, who's a developer, for example, you can completely flip these screens in portrait mode and then have them open at the exact same time. So if you're a developer, you could have whatever research or code you're looking up to reference on one panel, and then on the right panel, you can have the code that you're actually typing out. Again, I brought this example from my previous video. If you're a day trader, this is the laptop for you. Like it literally has your name on it. Like two displays all the time is always going to give you a lot of screen real estate. And then when you get home or back to the office, you can hook it up to your desk setup and have three screens to utilize right away, plus whatever extra screens you want to connect to it at the exact same time. Battery life update, it's been good. You know, like this is obviously not the battery champion just because you are using two displays, but I've gotten anywhere from like 6 to 7 hours of use depending on how hard I was using it. Either way, it's been a fantastic experience so far. If you're interested in checking it out, I'll place a link in the description down below. Now, the first laptop accessory you should really consider is a GAN charger. I show this in all my EDC videos and my tech bag carries. It is an absolute must. This is the thing that never leaves my bag. It has enough juice to power any laptop, even a gaming laptop. You might not get full performance, but it's more than enough to charge it and get you decent performance. Plus, if you have a MacBook, you can connect it over here, maybe a Windows laptop, whatever you want. And then you have two Type-C ports to connect other devices, whether it be to charge your watch or even just charge your smartphone. The second accessory is a bit more situational. Like if you drive a lot and you're driving a car that's gas powered, and it doesn't have a USB Type-C port that can sustain a charge over 30 watts, I highly suggest an inverter or a power inverter because this will plug into those old adapters in your car, the ones that we used to use for cigarettes back in the day, at least to light them, and it will give you a full outlet. This produces up to 150 watts of power, so you can connect essentially any laptop to this, do your work, charge it all while you're driving. Even for someone like me who has a Tesla, like the USB Type-C ports in there only charge up to like 30 watts, which is not enough for a big chunky laptop, but this thing will obviously take care of it. And if you don't need to charge a laptop, you also have two USB-A ports that you can utilize. Another handy laptop accessory is this tech pack, or pouch rather. It's from Bellroy. They make very good accessories, and I just kind of use it to stay organized. I tend to just chuck everything in my bag, and the problem with that is it just gets lost and it gets crushed on top of things. This has a nice shell on the outside, so it feels nice and secure. Like if you drop something on this, it's not gonna crush what's inside of there because there's a little bit of leverage. But it's just a good way to keep all of your stuff organized. So on the left top hand pocket, I have headphones, and then of course I keep a USB Type-C to RJ45 jack. I have the long USB Type-C cable that I use with the GAN charger on the left hand side over here. In the middle, I always keep an extra SD card. I shoot with Sony cameras, they use SD cards, so having one ready to go in case I forget is always a good thing. SD card reader, because not all laptops have a USB-A port. And then I have my Apple Watch bands on the right hand side when I want to dress them up, because usually I have a sport band on, but these guys will make the watch look a bit more classy. Now this tool is an absolute must if you own a laptop that collects a lot of fingerprints or just gets dirty very easily. It's from a company called OXO and it's a two-way cleaner. The top portion of it, which has a cap, it's just in the other room, is a microfiber cloth. And this allows you to wipe down your display from nasty ass fingerprints. And then on the bottom of the device, you have this little brush. And this little brush allows you to wipe down your keyboard to remove crumbs and dust, especially for those of you out there who eat while you're working. You're just gonna get dirt on your keyboard. And let's face it, every time you close your laptop display, with most laptops, that display is touching your keyboard. And what's on your keyboard? Your nasty, oily fingerprints. So just having this in your pocket to keep things clean will make you a happier person. The third item is an external storage drive. This is the SanDisk Extreme. This is a 4 terabyte SSD. It gets really good read and write speeds, obviously not as fast as an internal NVMe SSD, but really good for an external drive. Super durable. It has this like rubberized coating on the bottom so it doesn't slip off your desk. It's very well made. I'm not worried about this dropping or breaking because it's so well protected. There's even a little bit of heft to it, so you know this is just made very well. I've been using it for over 3 years now. I've never had an issue with it at all. You could also just use a clip if you want to attach it to the side of your bag, or you can just chuck it inside and let it roam free. You can use a Type-C cable to connect it to a Type-C port, preferably Thunderbolt, so you get the fastest transfer speeds as possible. But if your computer, for whatever reason, doesn't use Type-C, you can hook up a Type-C to USB-A cable instead. As for the mouse, I'm still using the Razer Pro Click Mini. I prefer this over the Logitech G305, even though it's a great option as well. It's a bit smaller, but it's heftier. It's a little bit heavier. It feels more like a solid mouse. If you have a big hand, you might find it to be a bit too small, but even though I have a big hand, I still find it very comfortable. It's ambidextrous. It has these nice grips on the left and right hand side. It's good enough for gaming since you have 2.4 gigahertz support. But what sets this apart from the Logitech G305 is the fact that it supports Bluetooth. And if you're carrying a laptop like the Lenovo Yoga Book 9i, there's only 2 Type-C ports on it. So if you wanted to connect the dongle that's easily stored inside of here to that laptop, you have to use another dongle to connect it. So just being able to use Bluetooth makes my life a bit easier. Now with Diablo 4 out and Tears of the Kingdom, which I often play, I've been carrying a controller in my bag to play those games quite often, or even if you're just playing games on your laptop. There are tons of controllers to choose from, but I'm really a big fan of the 8BitDo. This thing is cheaper than the Nintendo Wireless Pro controller, but feels almost the same. Like it's just a solid device. It works with Windows, it works with the Steam Deck, it works with your Nintendo Switch. It has extra paddles on the back so you can bind more buttons to this. It's 2.4G, so you can use the included dongle, or it can connect with Bluetooth. The actual buttons are super clicky. It just feels like a premium product. Plus, it also comes with a very fancy wireless charging stand. So when you're not using it, you simply place it on it and your battery will always be full. Now the last suggestion is optional. It really depends how picky you are on making your display look as accurate as possible. This is a color calibration tool, and what it does is it color calibrates your display, regardless of whether it's a regular monitor or your laptop display. Someone who works with video or just wants colors to look exactly how they are, you're gonna want this thing. You know, like it's a little bit expensive. There are cheaper versions, like this is the Spider X Elite, but I think they have a Pro model, which is slightly cheaper. All you do is you plug it in, you put it on your display, it hangs over, you install the software, and it goes through a bunch of checks to make sure the colors are what they should be. And if they're not, they'll install a profile to make sure the colors look as they intended. So that wraps up this video's best laptop accessories. There'll be links to all of these devices in the description down below, along with the Yoga Book 9. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.